morning, everybody over there on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. What's happening, man? Oh, hey, we do have a guy. There he is. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Good morning. We weren't sure if you were making it or not. It's this last second.
Little internet difficulties. It's all right.
That'll happen.
Oh, it's like Arizona. Everything takes a lot longer in Arizona. You guys just move at a different speed.
Hey, it's hot out here. What can I say?
Oh, man. So how was your 4th, Jason?
It was good, really good. It was hot. Actually, you know what? It was cooler than most 4th of July's. It was about 100. It's at lately it's been about 110, 114. My kid plays football, and we had a practice on Tuesday, and it was 114.
Oof.
But thank God it's just OTA, so that's just practice and BJ's. So, but yeah, no, it was good. Fireworks, we grilled out, swam. It was good. It was family time.
Awesome.
Only 100 degrees. It was hotter here than it was out there, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it was like 80 here. So, it was nice.
I'll take as much as I complain, especially as I get older. I complain about the heat here in Arizona. It is a dry heat. I can't take the humidity in other places. I go other places, and it might be 10 degrees cooler, but the humidity is like 80-90%, and it's just ridiculous. Here, there is no humidity. It is like being in an oven. If you ever want to try it, just put your oven on, 325 and get it in it. That's what it's like. So it's a dry heat, but it's hot. It's really hot. Everybody has a pool, and if you go outside, you either get in a car, in a pool, or in a building.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona is the level of Mario where the sun is spinning around and trying to kill you all the time.
That's Mario Brothers 2, though.
Last time you were here, Bo, it was the summertime, right?
Yeah, no, it was hot.
We met up. Yeah, it was. You don't drink because you want to. You drink because you have to drink. So yeah. That's why I remember going to Arizona Cardinal games back in the late 80s, early 90s, sitting at old Sun Devil Stadium on those aluminum bleachers in August when the temperature was already 110 degrees outside, but on those aluminum bleachers, it was like 120, 130. And we didn't drink alcohol again because we wanted to. We drank because we had to, because somehow it made it cooler if you were intoxicated. So, yeah. Not to mention,
it thinned out the blood. It thinned out the blood.
It made it a lot.
It's made out
a lot easier to take that 42-0 ass whooping you are about to receive when, if you're intoxicated. So, yeah.
I mean, there is that part. Yeah. Yeah. No, when we drove through the first time, it was on our way down to Mexico. We were cruising into Phoenix. It was like 116, and we got out at a truck stop, to stretch the legs, and it literally
got right back in.
Man, it felt like someone punched you in the gut. You're just as soon as you open the door, you're like, "Oh, this is awful."
That's exactly what it's like.
We had the AC on and everything in the truck, so I mean, it was a. You're just like, "Oh yeah, this is not anything I want to do all the time." When we came back through and when we met up with you, it was hot, but it wasn't quite that hot. I think it was like right at 100, something like that, which is much more manageable. But even that, like, I'm not a fan of triple digits. Like 90 is cool if you're at the water. Otherwise, if I'm gonna have to actually like do stuff, I want it to be much cooler.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's a great descriptor, like being punched in the gut, punched in the face. It's like, it feels like being a Philadelphia Philly fan or Philadelphia fan. Yeah, it's just getting punched in the face repeatedly. Yeah.
That's right. How many Super Bowls have the Cardinals won?
Well, it's called a World Championship, but in 1947 we did win one. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh, and that was in Arizona.
Learn your history. It was not in Arizona, smarty pants, but
and you were around to watch it.
I was not. I have a book in black and white somewhere that I can read you.
Yeah, I got it. I understand.
Yeah.
They didn't even give rings then. It was a merit badge.
That's right. That's right. It was a participation trophy. Yep.
Oh, man.
And don't worry, there's not anything you can do to piss in my Cheerios today because I am already pissed off. I am hungry. I am going. Hey, listen, to talk about some men's health today, I am going to go get the scope, and I haven't eaten all day long, and I'm only here for a little bit, so we're glad that you're here because I have to go. You know, I put it off too far. I am 53 years old, about to turn 54. You're supposed to be 45 when you go get this procedure done. And I have put it off long enough, and I haven't eaten.
And they told him because he waited, there's no lube for him.
I thought he realized that Jalen Hurts was not a real quarterback. That's the same look you have on your face when you realize your quarterback is not the real deal.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think that, again, he was a Super Bowl MVP. How many Super Bowl MVPs do you guys have?
A great 9 route. I think Jimmy Garoppolo won one too, didn't he? Trent Dilfer won one, didn't he?
Nope.
He didn't win an MVP. He won a Super Bowl.
No, I'm in a Super Bowl. Yeah.
He did win a Super Bowl.
I was gonna say, yeah, he got to go to Disney World.
Televised?
Will it be televised?
He's gonna stream it live on his OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how that'll work. That'll be great. Joe, the fact that you want to tune in to watch is really disturbing. But anyways, yeah, so that's what's happening. If you
hey, I'm with you. I had one a couple years ago, and I had it the day after Halloween, so I couldn't eat. We're going trick or treating in my neighborhood. The parents come out, and every now and then you'll hit a house that, hey, you want a shot? It's like, oh, I would love to, but I can't. I have a colonoscopy tomorrow. So you couldn't eat anything, you couldn't drink anything, and it was horrible.
Yeah, doing that whole Miralax thing is not fun.
No,
it's. Yeah, but it's almost over, and then after I get done, I've got steak thawing.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, they give you that stuff that you're worried you're going to Amber Heard your bed, and
yep.
So, but yeah. So hey, listen, hoping for the best, and it's a good test. I appreciate it there. When it's listen. Everybody's got to go through it. Everybody's got to get one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, they, depending on what they find, obviously it determines how frequently you end up having to do them after your first one. But if it comes back with a good bill, you're good for 5 years, as I recall. I get to find out next year, so I mean, there's that.
Well, listen, this may be a one and done unless they come, unless they find something really bad. This is probably the first and only.
Well, I mean, again, if it's good, they tell you to do it every 5 years. If it's bad,
spoken like a true Philly fan.
I am definitely not gonna, I don't want to submit to this often.
Nobody voluntarily invites for that. Yeah, no, I get you.
It's why they knock you out now instead of having you be awake.
Yeah, that's I have been told it's like the best sleep of my life. that you go to sleep and it's like a fantastic sleep for however long it is.
Oh, that's so messed up, Joe.
He's
man.
got.
I'm not
He's got
laughing at that.
He's got a
I'm
Des
not
Bryant
laughing at that. That's
jersey
not funny to me.
Count backwards from 10. 10, 9, Des Bryant.
Oh man, that is terrible.
Speaking of Super Bowl,
but hey, you know what? It can't be any worse. It can't be any worse. My son wound up getting all 4 wisdom teeth removed Tuesday. And he woke up Wednesday with like a golf ball in his cheek, and it's like, it's like, yeah, that was the one that was the worst, and I'm sure they had to dig in a little bit harder. So I felt bad for him, and same situation though. He couldn't really eat either because he went under, and he made sure that I wasn't recording any of the stuff that he was saying afterwards. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do any of that. I don't need to record any of that. Like, it's anybody who does that and records you all that funny stuff that you're saying afterwards is meant to be cruel. I don't need to be cruel.
No, they're deliberately doing you dirty. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm not like that. My wife, on the other hand, is 100% like that. Yes.
Yeah.
And she will hold that against you in a court of law. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, that's different though, because they can have a dream where you did something they didn't like, and they're mad at you the next day, and you're like,
absolutely,
I wasn't even there.
You realize it was a dream, right? Doesn't matter.
That big golf ball says a whole different story on that.
Yeah.
But so actually, and I'm sure that there were some sports going on, but obviously, we're not talking about mental health. This is a whole different type of health.
Yep.
Well, the World Cup sucked. I mean, I was pulling for Mexico. They lost. Well, obviously the USA. Although Mexico had a better outing than the USA, I just thought, man, they looked outmatched against Belgium. I mean, it was night and day. As somebody who, I was texting my brother-in-law, both of my brother-in-laws who are bigger soccer fans than I am. And I said, listen, I don't know much about soccer, but Belgium looks much, much better. Like, we don't look like we belong on the same field. And, he said they are playing a lot better than we are. So, but man, it just looked, the optics looked like we did not belong. So
we looked like we weren't ready for that game. I mean, we came out really flat. We couldn't create any space. Like, the defense from Belgium was amazing. And we were out of position a lot. So
it felt like we were out of position a lot, and then we couldn't get much going. So
I think that everything leading up to that created that situation. I think that's when we talked about it the other day, it was, I felt that, Flo Balogun being able to play created a situation for Belgium that kind of just pissed them all off and had them, it just added fuel to a fire. I mean, obviously this is a knockout round. This is like they all want to win the World Cup, and the US is never looked at as a favorite, and they were favorites in this game. And they actually became more favorite the moment that Balogun was allowed to play. And the truth of the matter is that they had 3 days to prepare without him playing. And then all of a sudden they gave him permission to play. And it was like, I feel like that the whole plan that they had going into that got scrapped. They tried to make a new plan and they didn't do it. There was no success in that whatsoever.
Felt like there wasn't a plan, really. I mean,
it looked like it.
Yeah.
They just came out flat, and then, like I said, the letting up that first goal was like I said, it was a poor defensive play. And then to let up the second goal the exact same way, that everybody in the exact same position. If you look at it, I mean, one got kicked in, one got headed in. But that's the only difference between the two goals. The guys that were out of position were both out of position in the exact same spots. And then, watching the goalie reenact Koo's
that
field
Yeah, it
goal.
was awful.
yeah.
I mean, there were so many other ways he could have just kicked it off to the side. It could have been they could have had a throw in. They could have done a lot of different things. And the fact that I've only, like I said, I've only watched that goal happen twice in a soccer match. The one time was Messi against the Union when he was playing for Miami, and the goalie came way out and he just kicked it over his head, and that ball just rolled in. Similar situation. It was just there was no need for him to be. I mean, there was a need for him to be out that far, but he needed to make sure to make contact with that ball.
Yeah.
So today, instead, we have France and Morocco, and this is a rematch of the 2022 semifinals.
Oh, okay.
And I can imagine Morocco is a little upset about the fact that they were beaten. It was actually a really good match 4 years ago. And, I think France is ranked third in the world, and Morocco is ranked seventh.
Yeah, I was going to say France is the favored team here, but this should be a great game.
Yes. And the way Morocco's been playing, I think they've been playing better than France. And France is, again, relying a lot on Mbappe. And, they play the aggressor a lot of the time. It'll be interesting to see when they have to play defensive, because Morocco can play aggressive as well. So it'll be interesting to see that, and how that plays out.
Yeah.
But that's game one of the quarterfinals, and it starts today. I think it's at 3:00. What time that is?
Should be 4 your time.
4:00.
Yeah.
4:00. Yeah, correct.
Because it's 1:00 for me. So it's which also means I'm not going to get to see it. So I'll have to grab the highlights, but
should be okay. Yeah, like I said, there will be a good amount of highlights in this game. This game will be a whole 1-0 or 2-0 game, I'm sure. Maybe 2-1.
Yeah, well, that's what I was imagining. It'll be like a 2-1. If it's more, it's because it went into extra time and it came down to kicks.
The game that I'm going to be most interested to watch is not until Saturday. Norway versus England.
Oh yeah. That's going to be a great game too. I actually like all the games for the quarterfinals, with the exception of I think Argentina rolls through Switzerland. I like Switzerland's not a bad team, right? But of these 4 games, that seems like it's the one that could be the most lopsided.
Yeah, Switzerland, I think. So Switzerland plays a very defensive style, which plays into Argentina's style. So that may be a tough matchup for them. The Norway-England game really does, like I said, I feel like that Erling Haaland is the best player in this World Cup today. And it's going to be interesting to see him go up against England's number 1 guy. England actually believes that they think that they could win this cup this year. And that's going to be, I think, their biggest challenge, Norway. So that'll be a great game to watch. And then Spain, Belgium. I really think Spain blows them out of the water. I think Belgium played their World Cup game against the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, in any sport, right? When you have that huge emotional win, it's hard to keep that same energy into the next game. So no, I fully expect Spain to win. I think it's going to be a good game, though. I don't think it's going to be like just a beatdown.
We'll see. We'll see. I think it could be like a 3-0 game.
Mm.
Which is a beatdown. That's a beatdown.
That is a beatdown. Yeah, especially at this level. So, yeah, now that would be too bad. Because then that makes the U.S. loss look even worse.
Right.
Well, no, I think that they're going to be a victim of their own demise. Really, is like you're going to have a very similar situation. I mean, Spain is a much better team.
Oh, no question.
And
yeah,
that my expectation in this is that Belgium's going to let up that first goal. They do have a guy on there who has been in 160 World Cup games. He scored 93 goals. He scored the last goal. He scored the fourth goal for them. He only played for 15, 20 minutes. He is actually their best player on the field or on the pitch. And he can't play for longer than 20 or 30 minutes. And that's, they need him to be the captain out there, and he's just not going to be able to sustain that long. He's just old and he's slow, and if they have him out there, he's going to be a detriment. Yeah. And that's where some of that fight becomes. But
yeah, no, I don't know. I suppose that one could be. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Right. That's why they play the game. Doesn't matter what we're saying.
Exactly.
Because Belgium can come out and win 6-1, and then guess what? Everything that we just said went out the window.
No question. And it wouldn't be the first time.
That's what I'm trying to explain to my 10-year-old son right now, who's just wildly obsessed about football and stats, and watches NFL Plus just nonstop 24/7, plays Madden, knows all these stats, and wants to play fantasy football this year. And I played for 27 years and finally hung it up a couple years ago. Greatest thing I ever did was stop playing fantasy football. And now he wants to start. I'm like, okay, I'll play with you. We'll get something going. But he keeps saying this team's going to demolish this team and that. I'm like, look, a couple of things about sports and just life in general. The older you get, the more you realize you don't know anything. Right? You know absolutely nothing. You understand a lot more, but you know nothing. Number one. Number two, any given Sunday.
Yep.
Any given Sunday. It doesn't matter. That's why they play the game. Anybody can beat anybody. The Jets can beat the Rams. Well, the Jets can't beat the Rams, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, so it's so I've watched football long enough to know that, just sit back, have your drink ready, have your snacks ready, and enjoy the game, because anything can happen.
I'm just going to keep on being steaming, wheelie, beaming.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
You talk about all of those things before the game starts, but once it kicks off, that's it. You're just like, well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we can throw our stats around. We can do our pick'ems. We can do our spreads. We can do this, and that, and the other. Listen, once the ball's in the air, man, hey, just enjoy the game.
Yep.
So yeah, it's why we're here. It's why Arizona fans are miserable, and yeah.
Well, I'm about to make myself miserable, so I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to just pass everything off to you guys, and hopefully you have a better show than I'm about to go and endeavor. And
I mean, we're all still going to be on camera. Have fun with that.
Yeah. I hope you don't go viral. I hope it's not a cowboy doctor.
You hope it's not viral, is it?
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, I want no virality, or yeah. I hope everything goes well, and I hope that the camera shows only good games.
No. It'll go well. Okay.
All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Take it easy. Have fun.
See ya.
man, that is terrible.
Man.
And you can bet on whether or not he makes it to the show tomorrow by using the QR code on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee.
We have zero insider information either on that one. So yeah, you're betting blind there.
Oh, no question. So, I mean, since we already started talking about football, we got coaches that are already projected to be on the hot seat. And some of them make sense and some of them kind of don't. So this is going off of a list from CBS Sports, and you can make a case for all of these, right? I don't love the order they put them in, but so at 5 they have Dan Quinn, right?
Mhm.
And I can see that one. Dan Quinn does have a shelf life as a head coach, right?
Sure.
Like he's good for the first couple of years and then he's got to fall off. Now for him, his team construction was terrible, right? Like, so he has a lot of success that first year, but then immediately had the oldest roster in the league. It's tough to sustain success when you're the oldest roster. So, you know, for them having to kind of turn this team over, I don't know that that's entirely Dan Quinn's fault, but you know, when you look at his other stops, there is a shelf life of when he's effective. So I could see them having this conversation. I don't think he would get fired this year, but if it's another bad year, I would think next year would probably be it.
Sure.
So at 4, this is the one that doesn't make sense to me because it should be higher, is Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Well, he's living off of that one Super Bowl appearance, you know.
Yeah, but that's years ago now.
Yeah. No, that was back in 1940. Was it 1940? Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, when you think of other coaches that have won a Super Bowl and been fired in less time than Zach Taylor had an appearance in one.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, not Bengals coaches. I mean, Bengal coach, there was that one guy that's hung around for a decade, really. His name escapes me right now. Oh gosh, he coached for like a decade for the Bengals.
The Carson Palmer era.
Yeah, and like had a couple of playoff appearances, so it was insane. But no, I get what you're saying. I mean, Zach Taylor came over from the Rams, their offensive pass specialist coordinator, and you know, that's kind of what scares me about, not to transition because we'll go back to Zach, but about Mike LaFleur, you know, and that pedigree and that tree. It's like, okay, they're not all home runs, you know. There's some that, you know, but again, it is about roster construction. You go back to Dan Quinn, and I kind of put Dan Quinn in that Riverboat Ron, you know, area, and you know, you got to have the. I really think they're good, very good coaches. They just have to have the right pieces around them. And you talk about that roster construction. One of the year, I like the Redskins. Or you know, what do they call them now? The Commanders. I call them the Redskins. And I'm a huge Cliff Kingsbury fan. I hated the roster construction. Did not like the running back room. Did not like the wide receiver room. And it's like, you know, I had a Redskins buddy, and we're texting back and forth, and I'm like, I love your team. I love your coaches. Your roster, though, I can't see it. I don't see a path to, you winning the NFC East.
Where's the success coming from?
Yeah. Who's doing it? You know, and then so yeah. But no, Zach's definitely, the clock is ticking with Zach.
I mean, it has to be. Like he's wildly underachieved. Now, a lot of this is based on the fact that they didn't give him a team. The only time he had a decent defense was that Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
Also, the only time that he's had an offensive line that wasn't below average. But at the same time, I mean, it seems like at this point, you would just be blowing the whole thing up. Like the fact that the rest of the division fired everybody and this is the team that kept everyone didn't make any sense.
No.
Outside of their contracts come up this year. So maybe they're just like, hey, we're not going to fire you, but we're also not going to bring you back. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the thought process, or maybe the thought was, you know, there's 10 teams that fired coaches. We don't want to end up with the 10th best guy.
Sure.
So, you know, like I get some of the argument from not getting fired this last year, but the fact that he's not number one is crazy to me. Just because they haven't been good and they spent all this money on 3 guys hasn't worked. So, so I would have had Zach Taylor at 1, but CBS has it at 4. Number 3 is Shane Steichen. This was a surprise to me, and simply because they were destroying the league until Daniel Jones got hurt. And then every team knew that, hey, Taylor's the only one that's going to be able to do anything. And they loaded the box up. So this one was a little bit of a surprise to me because, I mean, until that injury, they were the best team out there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll change with Daniel Jones being back healthy this year. You know, that narrative is going to change a little bit, but yeah, that was a little concerning because a lot of teams are like that. Mm-hmm. You lose your starting quarterback. You know, that's why it's the most important roster spot in the NFL. You know, you lose your starting quarterback, or I should say, the backup quarterback is one of the most important spots. You know, in the NFL, right? It's so important to have a quality backup quarterback that can step in if your starter's ever out or down and you know, can at least, you know, maintain, right? Mm-hmm. And no, Indy definitely did not have that last year. They're calling, you know, Phillip Rivers. I think I missed a phone call from them, and so it was just it was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
So
no, it was it was bad. Todd Bowles on this list. You know, I can see where you can make the argument for it. The tough part about this is his whole team was hurt. I mean, and they were still at least in the conversation for the division. Now, it was a terrible division, but
awful.
They were still in the conversation for it, and they literally had everybody hurt. So at the same time, it's been a few years. They seem to have a ceiling of what they can achieve. They seem like they are a first round of the playoffs kind of team.
Right.
So in this scenario, are you saying he's not the guy that can get us over the hump? And if that's the case, then it makes sense he's on the list.
Yeah. You know, as much as it pains me to say this, no, I do not think he's the guy to get them over the hump. I'm a huge Todd Bowles fan. He was here in Arizona for a while. I think he's a great DC. But I think just that. I think he is a great defensive coordinator. And I think defensively, as long as Todd Bowles is manning the ship, I think you're going to have a great defensive team. And I think that's what, you know, Tampa Bay had last year. It was a great defensive team. And, you know, Baker has just kind of resurrected himself, and Tampa Bay is just that guy, right? That he always wanted to be. Everybody wanted him to be, and we thought he was. Well, he is that guy in Tampa Bay. So, you know, he's manning the ship, doing things over there, doing great things over there. But no, I don't think Todd Bowles is. I think he definitely falls in that category of great coordinators who just so happen to fall into a head coaching spot.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, and he has made the playoffs with this team, so it's not like he's been terrible.
Right.
But, you know, at the same time,
no, not at all.
You do have to eventually progress. And then, of course, you know, sticking with Tampa before we get to the number 1 spot here, they also have to deal with this, that Baker wants 50 plus. And I don't know how you don't give it to him, because when you look at the other guys that are making 55 in Tua and Love and Lawrence, that have done less than Baker. I don't know how you don't pay him that. I mean, that essentially is the going rate. Right now, he's making exactly what Sam Darnold is, which would be the knock against him, right? Because Sam Darnold went and won a ring on a 3-year, $100 million, you know, and he got this contract first. Now, you can argue the rosters are wildly different, but
yeah.
So, but that being said, I don't know how you don't end up paying Baker, and I'm not a big Baker fan, but I mean, he's outperformed guys that are making that money.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm not a huge Baker fan either, but how do you not give him that money? Can you find somebody out there that's better? I don't necessarily think so, but yeah, I don't think they really have a choice but to give Baker that money.
So, and then that's where it ties back into Todd Bowles is if you give Baker that money, do you immediately go find a guy that maybe can get you over the hump? Like, are you saying, hey, Todd, this is your one shot at this, or you're out of here and we got to find somebody else because we're giving Baker all this money. And if we're going to do that, we need something.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go with the offensive minded head coach. Yeah. Yeah. That's conventional wisdom would tell you that's what they're going to do. They had all that success with Bruce Arians, right? Bruce Arians was a more offensive minded head coach, right? With the no risk it, no biscuit type mentality.
Yeah.
That was wildly successful over there. Well, it was wildly successful wherever he went. So yeah, I can see them doing that for sure.
And then of course at number 1, this one I feel like is not actually his fault, but he's going to get fired just like all of them do. Is Aaron Glenn.
LaFleur? Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, yeah, Aaron
Glenn. No, he can't get fired his first year.
You'd be surprised. I've seen it happen. No, Aaron Glenn. It sucks because it's like, what do you do over there with the Jets? Is it the Jets? Is it the head coach? Is it,
Jets.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not even a real question. Like, it is absolutely the Jets. The Jets and the Browns are that spot where you land as a coach, you will fail.
Yes.
And you will get a second shot because the rest of the league is like, yeah, they didn't have a good showing, but it was the Jets. And so you'll get that second job. Whereas if you go to like Baltimore and you're bad, you may never get another bite at the apple, right? But if you go to the Browns and the Jets, they're like, yeah, they didn't perform, but no one's performed. Like,
right.
So, I mean, there's Hall of Fame coaches that have gone through there that looked terrible while they were with those teams. So,
yeah,
I think Glenn will probably ultimately be fine. But I do believe he's on the hot seat here. But I don't know what you expected him to do. I mean, you came from a system, you had a system in place already that it was a defensive first team with, why am I mind blanking his name? The coach they fired.
Robert Saleh.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know why I was mind blanking his name, but so they had a great defense was solid there. They go and get another DC, right? And they still don't have a quarterback. I don't know what you expect this guy to do. You basically are taking over a defensive system. You're going to implement your defensive system, but you have good defense. They had good defense anyway. What they couldn't do is produce points. And so you go get another defensive guy, you give him no quarterback, and then you're like, how come we're bad? It's like, gee, I don't know. You basically replaced a coach with the same coach.
Yeah, it really does beg the question, like, who's running the team over there? I feel like and the big meetings up in the top floor of a big building, running the Jets is like a bunch of sixth graders, right? Just running the team, right? With
I think they might be better.
I don't know. I don't know, because you're like, Yeah, you want to think that this is, a multi-million-billion-dollar franchise, right? They've got a plan, they've got a game plan. Man, I wonder what they're going to do. They're stockpiling these picks. They got all this, that, and uh, what is the plan? Like every year, it's the exact same. It's like you're waiting for that plan, and then they maybe they show you bits and pieces of it, like, Zach Wilson. You're like, ooh, that was sneaky, Zach Wilson. What? And like that doesn't materialize. And you just wonder what direction they're going in. But I always have to wonder too. I know it's 1 of 32. I know it's a head coaching job. I know a lot of these coordinators, that's what they aspire to. Who cares what the job is? But you always got to. I always wonder when you take a head coaching job for the Jets, like, what are you thinking? Like Robert Saleh, we're just talking about. You get what, 2 head coaching nods if you're lucky, right?
Yeah,
in this industry,
you're
and
guaranteed another one. You're almost guaranteed another one if you go to the Jets or the Browns, though.
Oh, okay. So Robert Saleh decided, listen, my 2 was going to be with the Jets and the Titans.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's almost like, I don't know, like going to a frat party. Yeah.
The Titans make a little bit of sense in the way that they had hastily fired their last couple of coaches. And it sounds like this time around, they're actually going to give him time. So it sounds like he wouldn't have the expectation to have this thing a playoff team the following year. Right. So I think that was the allure of this particular move, is what he signed a 5-year deal. He's probably going to get 4 of them. Like, he could be bad for 4 straight years and he'd probably get fired in that 4th one. I don't think it's going to be that bad there.
If they lose for 3 straight years, I don't see them bringing it back for a 4th.
Well, I think he would get fired in that 4th year. Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, the Tennessee changed their front office. So they had a president that could override everything, and they kind of did away with that moving into this season. And so I think you might see a little more continuity in the way that the team acquires talent. And if that's the case, then it may not be a terrible spot.
Yeah.
If they keep on doing what they were doing, it's going to be a terrible team.
I just thought the Cardinals was a good landing spot for him. He knew the division. He's had success in the division. He knows, every team in the division like the back of his hand. And so,
but you're not going to win. Like, that's the thing, is he's got to get some wins, and he has a better chance of doing that in Tennessee than he does in the West right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Jacksonville's on the up. Indy's on the up. Houston's on the up. I mean,
yeah, but you just
that's true. Maybe he wanted.
You just had 3 teams from this division in the last 4 teams of the NFC.
Yeah,
so if you're looking at a win-loss record on your resume, you're like, am I going to have a better chance with Arizona or Tennessee? I'm going to say Tennessee every time. Because although those teams are on the rise, they're imperfect teams. And so you can steal wins from those guys. It'll be tough for Arizona to steal wins in this division this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, unless you were thinking, hey, there's a quarterback I really want. But at the same time, you have to weather another awful season. And so, when you're listening to, these talk shows saying Arizona's going to have a 3 or 4 win season, and if that's right, he didn't have a great record with the Jets, right? So all of a sudden you're seeing these loss totals almost guarantee that you don't end up with another chance later, right? Because all these guys get fired at some point. So does he want to have another shot, a 3rd chance to coach in the NFL? He's going to have to mount some wins. And, for the next year, maybe 2, Arizona is going to have a hard time doing that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about correct paths to go down, I mean, that seems like a good path to go down. I mean, if you're talking about a team that wins 3 or 4 games, you're probably going to have the number 1, 2, 3 overall pick, right? So
For
you
sure.
get to pick the next quarterback, which next year's supposed to be a very quarterback-rich draft,
Yep.
right? So now you get to really start from scratch and build this roster the way you want it. And we're not void of pieces too. We have a lot of pieces, with
You do. You
Jeremiah
do.
Love, Trey McBride, Baker, Buda Baker. We have pieces on this roster that I think you can do something with. So
Yeah, but you also have Hackett as an offensive coordinator, and so like I don't
know if he's going to be calling the plays though. Much like Bruce Arians called plays, Cliff Kingsbury called plays. I think LaFleur is going to be calling plays too. I think Nathaniel
you hope
Hackett's
so.
just going to be there. Yeah, fingers crossed,
Right.
So no, I don't see Nathaniel Hackett calling plays, but yeah, just kind of, we'll see. Can't wait for football to be here. We're 4 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game. Arizona's going to be there, so yeah, can't wait. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be. I think it's going to be another long season. I don't see 3 or 4 wins. I think we are going to win a little bit more than that, but not much more than that. It's a very hard schedule, especially the first part.
Yeah.
Second part plays out a little bit easier, which is I think good for Carson Beck because I think he's going to come in, week 7, 8, 9. I think I saw week 8 was a good landing spot for him. But all accounts, man, CJ Streveler, he looks very good. We had a quarterback used to be on our roster, CJ Streveler, kind of broke him down the other day and talking about Carson Beck and talking about how good he looked. And it wasn't just the cliche like, oh, he looks good, his footwork's good, good ball placement. Like he was really breaking it down about his just the dynamics of him throwing the ball, his footwork, his balance, his eye movement, everything. And Trey McBride was on a podcast the other day with Beefing with the Boys and talking about how impressed he's been with Carson Beck. See, at first, when this first started and there was all this pub about Carson Beck, I'm like, okay, well, you're supposed to say this, right, about a rookie quarterback, and you want him to be the face, right? You're trying to pump him up with confidence. And then it turned into, I'm like, okay, are these just because we're having contract disputes with our first string, our quote unquote first string starting quarterback, right? So these, and now, you got Trey McBride saying earlier this week that, when he first saw Carson Beck, he thought he was a tight end. The guy's huge. Here's Trey McBride saying that, yeah, this guy's bigger than me. He's like, he's ginormous. And so, Arizona fan is very excited and ready to see him play and want to see him play. And I think it's been a while. I mean, it's been since, Carson Palmer, since we've had a big, quarterback like that can kind of see, I'm going to say it, they can see over the offensive line and make plays downfield.
Did Brissett ever sign anything? I didn't
know.
Like the story went away,
Nope.
but we never saw anything about him actually signing.
Nope, not yet.
So he's still holding out.
Absolutely. Yep. And I just don't wild. I don't understand the advice. I don't understand. Well, he doesn't have an agent, so but I get what he's saying. I get the thought process. He's Gardner Minshew just walked in the door.
Yeah.
And he's making more.
Sure.
So I get it.
Sure.
But again, you've done nothing. You have no leg to stand on. You have no momentum. You have nothing. It's not like you just came off a great season or a playoff run, or you won one win last year.
Yeah.
And man. So we'll see. And to be honest,
there's a good chance it's not on this team.
I was gonna say, do we really want him on? I mean, I don't know if you want a high drive as a season ticket holder. I don't like to sit in that stadium and watch losses, but if you're looking at long-term success of the team, like, do you want to win games next year?
Well,
I don't
and
know.
does he really give you a better chance to win? Say you're trying to win. Does Brissett really give you a better chance than Minshew? Not really.
No,
So, and which one's more fun to watch? Minshew all day.
all day long.
Minshew
Yeah.
is this era's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, speaking of Baker, he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Right. Just gritty, hard nosed. Right. And you know, plus, hey, I want to see what we have in Carson back. If we
Sure.
have something, great, let's go with it. If we don't, we got to draft another quarterback next year. But wouldn't that be great if we had something and we still got a high draft pick and we could sell it for more draft picks because we obviously have holes to fill. So, you know, I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
you get another top end talent like what the Texans did a few years ago, getting Will Anderson.
Will Anderson, yeah,
You know,
for sure.
so maybe you have that come about.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if Beck can turn into something, that would be phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So there were two honorable mentions on this firing chart.
Hot list. Yeah, hot seat
And
list.
one is Matt LaFleur, which I agree with. You know, his seat isn't on fire, but it's warming up because
Yeah.
they have kind of underperformed with all the hype that's been about him, and then they pay Love. He's been inconsistent. You know, I didn't agree with them paying him all that money anyway, right? They based that 55 mil on the last 7 games of that season, just ignoring the first 10 where he wasn't that good. So I could see where his seat is warming up. I don't think he gets fired this next year, but the conversation will come up if he's not having a good season. And then it's too bad Pags isn't here because Nick Sirianni is on this list as an honorable mention also. And his name gets thrown in this mix a lot, despite the success this team has. And they basically are saying this team has enough talent that they're winning in spite of Sirianni being the coach. And there's moments I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that premise that that's what fans think. I don't know. Gosh, what was it? The 2008, if Pags was here, he would know. The 2008 Eagles were that they had that star-studded defense, and they just could not win games at all. It was awful. It was, well, maybe it wasn't that long ago, but so no, I get it, but I you know, with Sirianni and LaFleur, I personally think that's just sports talk radio trying to, you know, get you know, stuff to talk about. I think those guys are both great coaches. I wouldn't fire either one of them. I think I saw a stat like nobody had won more games in NFL history in their first 3 seasons than Sirianni. And you know, even though he does have all that talent, you know, you can't, you know, just because the GM is doing a great job, I mean, you know, getting talent around you, you're going to blame the head coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, like, what are you blaming him for? He's been in the playoffs every year. They've had some
deep runs. Yeah.
They've had some magnificent meltdowns. So like, I get it from that end, but they won 2 rings, right? Like the first one wasn't with him, but I mean, this team construction was still mostly there.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, he gets a ring. You know, obviously that couple of years ago where they were 11-1 and then completely melted down, backed into the playoffs and got smoked. You know,
in
that
2024 that was, we went and Jonathan Gannon went into Philadelphia and Jack stomped the Eagles. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then they turned right around.
Vividly. I think I watched it 3 dozen times. Yep.
Well, then they turned right around and came here to Seattle and made Drew Lock look like Joe Montana. And, you know, and they caught an L here too. So it's, and then you hear all the behind the scenes stuff, and then him being, you know, yelling at fans on the road, and like, there's all of those things way into this, but I don't know how you get rid of him when you're talking about he's won a ring. They have deep runs consistently. They've had, personalities on the roster that were a problem that they've now gotten out of the building. So to your point, I think this is just sports news is a little slow when it comes to football, and they're trying to create some conversations.
Sure.
But I can see where you can make the conversation, right? So it's not like this is way out in left field. There are drawbacks to Sirianni. There are drawbacks to LaFleur. LaFleur mostly just underperforming what the expectations have been. But
I kind of agree. This is not way out in left field. This is not like, hey, what about Andy Reid on the hot seat?
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, I think it's kind of, like, really, come on. Like, there's 29 other franchises that would love these head coaches. So, I think it's much ado about nothing. And, I think with the media, the way it is today, sports talk media and just media in general, I think they look at anything. You look at Sirianni yelling at fans, 10, 20, 30, who cares?
Well,
who cares? I don't care. Hey, listen, if you're winning games, you can yell at Santa Claus. I could care less. I don't care what you do. Don't break the law. Don't abuse women. Don't abuse kids and animals. And then, hey, the rest, I could care less. If you want to dress up as a banana and bark at the moon, go ahead. I don't care. Dude, whatever. Yeah. That's you. Do you, boo? But
I mean, at the same time, there are at least 6 coaches every year that get fired.
Yeah.
So you can never rule it out, right? I mean, when you think of Doug Peterson, he wins a Super Bowl, has a rough second year, and then he's out the door.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, crazy.
It's not like those things don't happen. What was it? Marvin Lewis, he wins Coach of the Year and then fired the next season.
Marv Lewis was one I was thinking of. No, Marv Lewis had that 10-year stretch so where it was just like, how are you not losing your job, Marvin Lewis?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, there's just because of the firings in the NFL are the way they are. I mean, again, you had 10 coaches get fired this year, and you probably could have had 12 because a guy like Zach Taylor somehow weathered that storm.
Yeah.
So, it's not way out. It's not way out of the question.
No, it's not way out of the question, but no, I think hey, if I was a betting man, I am a betting man, but I would put money on Sirianni and LaFleur both being with their teams in 2027.
Oh, yeah. No, in both of those scenarios, it'd have to be epic meltdowns. Yeah. Like these teams that have rosters good enough to get in the playoffs would have to be a 5-win team. That's the only way I see them getting fired.
Like Green Bay losing to Carolina in Lambeau in December, kind of.
Exactly.
Oh wait, that did happen. Yeah.
No, but they still had an okay season though.
I was so mad at that game.
Any given Sunday.
So mad at that game. Horrible called game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Carolina did look better towards the end of the season though.
They did. I really liked the way they looked in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and coming down the stretch, like they were playing good football.
They were,
which is something that we haven't been able to say a lot in the last decade.
No. And again, not expecting much from Carolina, and just I appreciate defense. I love defense. I don't care what the team is, and except Dallas, I hate Dallas. And
it was a losing record going to the playoffs, though. So let's not pretend like they were some juggernaut or anything. But
no, but they did get it together when the time was right. And
yep, absolutely.
So yeah, they were fun to watch for sure.
That being said, that gets us to the top of the hour. We appreciate all of you watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. And of course, if you're listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. Otherwise, we are going to see you all tomorrow. And of course, we'll see Jason next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See you guys.